transforming Africa. We are more than determined to cause that transformation, but the aids of this transformation are you and me. Therefore, when we team up together, we can transform Africa. That is why today we are looking at networking for business growth. But just in case you're joining us for the very first time, I want to let you know that Flourishing Hub is a program that is centered around improving your mindset as a young person so that you can thrive into this world. And this program is brought to you by Young and Flourishing Foundation. Young and Flourishing Foundation is built on 4 pillars, which pillars are the foundation of this program, Flourishing Hub. The first pillar is money. Yes, we all want money. We all wake up very early to go and work for money, but sometimes we miss out on the money discipline or the financial discipline. That is why Young and Flourishing Foundation is here to teach you how to work, how to save, and then how to invest so that you can gain more and more and more. The second pillar is daring in life, because we all want to start, and no matter how you start, there will be a time when you have a flourishing or you have a world-class business. Therefore, do not despise humble beginnings. The third pillar is strategy. We all ought to have plans as human beings, because literally if you do not have a plan, then you'll always be in other people's plans. That is why it is important. I know this is our last program this month, but when you check out on your, of course we've also completed the first half of the year now. When you check out on the list that you had for what you wanted to do at the beginning of the year, how far have you gone about it? Oh, in any way, did you have any plan for this year, or you're just waking up and living the day as it is? So that is why Young and Flourishing is here for you. And the last pillar is mentorship. We all need mentors. We need people to speak to us, especially people who have been where we want to be, people who have tested the waters that we want to test. Now, if you do not have a mentor, Young and Flourishing Foundation, which is also a network, will provide you with these mentors who would really help you go forward, push you, and instill in you those industrious ideas that you would need. Now, Edrine Mukalazi is my name and your host for this show. Today we are talking about networking for business growth, and with us is another special guest. This person is a co-founder of Palit, Woodwork and Design. She's a mother, she's a pastor, she's an entrepreneur, and she's a business owner. She's, of course, I earlier said she's a co-founder, but she's also a member of Business Network International, BNI. She is also a book author. Because of her story, she wrote a book which is entitled The Magnificent Seven. Now, it is an interesting book that you too need to read about, and I believe you will not stay the same. With us is Sharon Tusiime. Join me as we welcome her. Sharon, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Edrine.
It's a pleasure having you, a mother, at this time. I know you'd have been home with your family, but we are grateful that you've spared this time to be with us and to share with us.
Thank you for the opportunity. It feels good to be here, and I'm excited to share with you as well as the audience.
We're also excited to hear from you. So, just to start with, how is family?
We're good. They're very good. I have 2 children. A boy and a girl, and they are right now, both of them finished their finals. One is year 11, which is the equivalent of S4, and another one year 6, which is like P7, really, on another curriculum. So I have vacists in a way, but they are good. But family is very, very good. We're blessed.
That is interesting.
Have no complaints.
That is interesting.
Yes.
Greetings to them.
Oh yes, I was about to ask if we do shout outs here, on Family TV, whether we send greetings to the people that we love, to our fans.
Of course you do.
Yes.
So, how is Palit, a woodwork?
Yes, Palit is a woodwork and design house.
How is it?
It is in Makindye, located in Makindye. So what we do there, we make furniture. Customized furniture for homes, for offices, and hospitality spaces. Really residential and commercial clients. That's what we do. So we customize based on your needs. If you have a big room and the chairs on the market are too small, you can customize a big one. If you have a small room and the chairs are too big on the market, then we make for you a small special chair that can fit in your spaces.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
so that's what we do predominantly.
So
at
very many people have businesses, so and so furniture workshops, so and so furniture works. Why do you choose to call it woodwork and design?
Because
and not the other common name of furniture.
Yes, because we don't only make, but we design with you the furniture that suits your lifestyle.
Okay.
So it's not only just making, but we design furniture for you that fits your spaces. So we don't only just make a chair, but we offer advice in terms of design and things like those. So we are more than just your ordinary carpenter who you take a chair to make. So we can support you in the process of designing and setting up your space to suit your lifestyle.
Wow.
Yes, so it's more than just woodwork.
This is interesting.
Yes, so that's it. That's what we do. That's why it's woodwork and design.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, as I was reading about your story, it is out of your business journey that you now decide to write a book, The Magnificent Seven. In the first place, why that title? The Magnificent Seven.
So a little bit about the book, like we shared earlier when we were speaking just before the show,
Yes.
is that, you know, I like business, I like to do business, but one of my hobbies, I started a business with a friend of mine, and that business takes children on educational tours. Yes, so it's a children's business because I also like to tour and travel and have a good time. And so from that business, really that wasn't the reason why, but as a result of setting up that business, I was looking for content for Ugandan children about the city of Kampala. But there isn't enough. Okay, I didn't find, I'm sure it's there somewhere, but you know, like books to read that are about the city and the history of the city or something about the city, but I couldn't find any. So everybody, I kept on telling people, someone should write the book, someone should write a book. And then one day someone told me, why don't you write the book? Yeah, and I laughed it off. So I will happen to be in a course at Worship Harvest. There's a course for leaders, a Leadership Institute. And to complete that course, you must write a book. Because there are few African authors. So this institute, they insist on writing a book. To graduate, you must author a book. So I said, you know, now the opportunity has come to finally write this book, which someone had told me, instead of complaining and asking and thinking someone out there will write the book, why didn't you write the book? And so I wrote the book. So it's called The Magnificent Seven because it focuses on the 7 hills of Kampala. So it's a 10-year-old's journey on touring the 7 hills of Kampala. So there's actually a tour which we offer in this business of ours. The business is called Quest Excursion. So you take children on a Kampala 7 hills tour. So this story is based on that. It's fiction, but the things that are in there are actually factual, so you can actually learn. So while it's entertaining, the children can actually learn about the city. Surprisingly, many adults also don't know much about the city. So even the adults can read this book that is written for those that are 6 to 12.
Like you said, surprisingly,
Yes.
very, very many.
Yes, exactly. So that's why the title came, The Magnificent Seven, the 7 hills of Kampala.
So what will happen, because you realize every now and then there are new things that come up. So what happens? Do you re-edit and produce it in volume so that you add in the new things?
Maybe I will have to, because at the time I started the book, for example, the clock tower was there. So, you know, things
we didn't
like
have a
those.
flyover.
Yes, Makerere University, the main building hadn't burnt. So there are all those things. I'll have to do another edition, probably. Yes.
So
Yes.
we now want to get into our topic today, which is networking for business growth. But to you, who is a passionate business person, what and why do you think? In the first place, how can you define the term networking? Because when we talk about networking, very many people have a misconception of networking. Some people would think it is these other companies that come and tell them, when you come and join us and you bring more 10, then that is how you'll get money. And then others will also have another perspective of networking. So you realize that very many people have their own understanding of networking. Now, we are looking at networking for business growth. And to you, how can you break down the word networking?
Thank you. Yes, there's networking, which is the network marketing, you know, the one we hear that, you know, sign up to people and do this and do that, you know, buy these products, call other people. That's also a form of networking. So it's network marketing. But the one we are going to speak about specifically today really is business networking. So there's the social one where you meet and make connections just to flourish in life generally. But today I want to specifically draw it into business because we're saying networking for business growth. Yeah. How do I network and then use my network to grow as a business owner or to grow my business? So this networking is really specific because you're forming connections that lead to relationships really that can help you flourish in business. And from the benefits of business, you see why it is called business networking. But at the end of the day, everyone that networks wants to flourish in that, either to build new connections that you then move and do life with, or flourish with the existing connections that you already have. So networking really is about building those relationships, making connections with people, in this case professionals, that will help your business to grow and take it to the next level. At
what point should I open my mind to, because you realize we have very many meetings, very many gatherings where we think people meet and network. Maybe we sit and share, maybe share numbers, and then we go. So at what point should I now say that now what I'm in is a business network?
Okay, so a business network, you're more intentional about what you're doing. If you're saying I'm going to network for business purposes, you're intentional to the extent that you know what you want and you know the person that is going to help you get it. Or you recognize that this group of professionals is going to help me achieve my goals in my business. So you have to be at that level to network at a business, to say that now I'm business networking, because you're being deliberate and intentional to use the network that you're growing to grow your business. So there's an intentionality element.
In other words, if it is more of a social gathering, then it is not networking.
It is also networking because you can still use those social networks to grow your business. But in the social networks, you have other objectives in that case. Either it's to just flourish, either it's to do charity work, whatever it is. You might not be intentional, although you can use your social network to grow your business also. But the business networking that we're talking about, you have to be intentional about what you want to achieve. And then the business element is you're also helping the other person's business to grow. So it's not about you only.
Well, does it mean that I should only network with those who are doing what I'm doing, or I should network with those who are doing what I'm intending to start? Or if it is, I'm intentional, I have my targets, I have my plan laid down, but when I go when I go out to network, when I'm trying to look for these networks or connections, does it mean that I should only look out for people who are doing what I want to do or what I'm doing, or I shouldn't be discriminative in choosing the networks?
Exactly what you've said last. You shouldn't be discriminative. Why? Because the whole idea is that you're not networking with these people because you hope to get maybe business from them. You hope to then tap into their bigger network. So it's not about that this person has what I need. This person has the connections that you need. You just don't know it at that moment. So you cannot say I will only network with people who do the same thing that I do. Okay. You cannot afford to say that. Although you can say that I'm going to be very specific because I want to grow in this area, to network with people who are in the area that I want to grow. So at the end of the day, what are your objectives? Your objectives, if they are to grow your business, then you might have to spread and have a bigger network. But even as you do it, you can't haphazardly network with everybody all the time, anytime, everywhere. Hence the element of being intentional and really planning how you're going to grow your network. So that's why now, for example, for me, I'm in a group, a Business Network International. It's intentional. It's a referral networking organization. The purpose there is to generate referrals for one another in business. So the objective is very clear. We are here to generate referrals for each other, build relationships, and then from those relationships we can generate referrals for one another. So we are intentional in that regard. So everyone who comes in there says we are here to generate referrals for each other. So that's the intentional element. However, it doesn't mean that I don't network with people in church, or you know, in another group like Rotary, or my circle, or it doesn't mean that I don't network with them. I also network with them because the people that I'm looking for might be in their networks. Yes.
Well, someone would really be asking, why should I bother myself with these networks? Are there any benefits someone gets when they network, especially for business?
Yes, the networks are very important for businesses. I'm going to speak from my end. I mean, when I started business, my business was small. It's not massive now, but it will one day be. But it has grown thanks to the network that I was a part of. So for me, I believe that networking is very important, especially when you're starting out in business. How is that? When you're starting out in business, you don't have a marketing budget. You don't have money to market. Most of our businesses don't have that opportunity, that you have enough money to pay a marketing team to go out there. So what happens is that your network that you have grown is the one that's going to market on your behalf. Someone might say, yes, there's social media and all those things, but some businesses, you need someone out there speaking for you when you need to get into certain places or you need certain business. So the value of the network cannot be compared to anything. So everybody needs a network. A network helps businesses grow because the answer to your business challenge is carried by somebody. But if you're not interfacing with that person, then you're putting your business at a disadvantage. So the answers to all our problems are with men and women out there. So when you don't network, you do yourself a disservice. Yes.
Now, because you're saying when you do not network, you're doing your business a disservice, and someone would really ask themselves, then how do I grow these networks? How do I build these networks?
Okay. I don't know if we want to talk a little bit into the advantages. I don't know if we've really...
we are going to get into the advantages after talking about how someone can grow. Yeah, because after doing it, then you can see the fruits.
So really, the how it varies. For example, you can be intentional about joining a space that is going to grow you. So your business, what is your business looking out for? Are you looking to push your product out there or people to learn about it? So you might have to go into a certain group that you can be able to sell your product or tell more people about it. So in this case, you might have to join, you know, your church group, somewhere that your network at that moment might grow your business. Or the how to, you can also go an extra mile and join a group that is intentionally doing it. For example, me, I joined BNI, that is very intentional because they are there to refer each other intentionally. You can join your group of your old school group where people used to study. That's a network. So when they say it's an alumni meeting, don't refuse to go there. That's the network that's going to push your product or help you in business or give you the advice. If you have a church group, a community group, don't shun the spaces of where people are, because that's the network that you are really looking for. If you're a professional and you're an architect, join the professional bodies network. If it's Uganda Engineers Association, go and join them and be a part of it. Sign up. If it's Makerere University alumni, go and join the alumni if you're not yet part of it. So join a group that has the things that you are looking for. You can join a professional group, meaning if your business, whatever you're doing is professional, join the professional architects group, musicians group, cinema owners group, you know, all these groups where all these people are. Then join those professional networks. Join the social networks. Yes, that's what I would say. That's how you start. You start and join them. But when you join these groups, you cannot, because remember I said networking is about making connections and building relationships. You're not going to enter that space and immediately people start to refer you or help you or work with you on whatever you want to do. You have to be intentional.
Comes automatically. No. The moment I join, I should be sure.
No.
It should be a sure deal. I'm there 1 month, I've started seeing connections. People are coming.
No. First of all, people have to trust you. They have to understand who you are to be able to refer you. So when you get to that space, you need to say, how can I help them? What value are you bringing before you can hope to tap out of these people? So many times we enter a space and immediately we start posting, this is what I do, I'm looking for business, help me. That's always a turn off for people. Yeah, it is.
Why?
When you join the group and immediately you flood us with your flyers.
I thought this is a platform for me to share.
No, that's not how you go about networking. It's not about what you can get. Yes, you know what you want to do there, but you need to first deliver value before you can tap from that network. So you need to first put in before you can get from there. So you have to be intentional about forming relationships. Find out about these people. Who are they? What do they do? What do they like? What are their challenges? So the first time you meet someone, maybe your OB, for example, don't immediately tell him, I do this, I'm looking for business. Ask him, what are you doing? What are you up to? Find out more about them. Ask them, how can I help you? Because when you help them, they will want to help you eventually as well.
Now, this is very serious because...
So that's what networking is all about.
Oftentimes meet our friends and the first thing you do is to get out your card. This is what I do.
Call me.
Hey, call me. You can call me when you need my service.
Yes. And many times do they call you?
Before you're even sure whether they need your service.
Yes. Do they call you? No. They will most likely not call you. Even if it was you and you met your OB and that's the first thing he said, you're going to be like, that this guy. So there's a bit of science to networking. It's not a matter of going for an event and give out business cards. I might go for a meeting and yes, I want to meet the CEO of this organization. But when I reach at the meeting and I meet him, the first thing I'm going to do is not to tell him what I do and what I need in that moment. Because this CEO, for example, is used to people every day coming to him asking him for things. But you need to stand out. You need to ask him what he likes about his job, what challenges are there. You might not have the solutions, but you've just made the conversation about him. And everybody likes the conversation to be about them. So when you do that, and then you ask him, is there any way I can help you? What can I help you, your business with? Don't think that I cannot do anything for them. You don't know. The person he wants to meet might be your cousin. You just never know. So you ask him how you can help him. Trust me, he will remember this one guy at that networking meeting who came to him, talked to him, and never asked him for anything for himself, but asked him how he can help him. So that's the science of networking. It's a matter of building, making a connection, building this relationship that's going to grow you professionally. So networking takes time. It's not giving out business cards. That's not networking. That's giving out business cards. Yes, so you're not selling to the person. You want to sell through them. So sometimes we enter a room and you're just seeing people as, clients. Oh, these are my clients. Yes. But when you're in a...
you're like, if I get an opportunity to speak to all of these people...
I'll sell to all of them.
You can even ask the team leader to give you a chance, to give you audience so that you can convince them about your product.
About your product. But usually it doesn't happen like that. After some time, maybe when you come back again, then maybe they start to think that you have value. But at first meeting, people will rarely give you business at first meeting. But as a networking for business growth, you're not seeing this one person. You're seeing this person and his family. It's not this one individual you're looking at. You're looking at this person and their whole network. How do I make this person my person so that they can refer me to all the people they know? Because him to buy from me is just one thing. But for a business that wants to grow, you cannot think of this one guy. You must think of all the 10 people that he knows and all the 10 people that the other person knows. That's why it's a relationship. That's why we say you have to make that connection, because it's more than just this one person. You're looking at more than one person. You're looking at 100 as a result of that one guy. So that's really the science of networking.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
For business growth.
It is indeed networking.
For business growth. I mean, there's another type of network where you're networking to get a job or whatever. That's another one where this is the guy that you need. But same principle applies.
Exactly, because
when you meet him, don't just tell him your problems. I need a job.
You know,
exactly. Yes.
I think it is still the same. Whether it is business growth or it is the same criteria.
Yes. So there are two. There's something. There's the father of modern networking. They call him Dr. Ivan Meisner. He's the one that founded BNI. So they have a rule. It's called the 24/7/30 rule. Yeah, for networking. So for that person who wants to apply for a job or wants a connection in a job, he says the first time you meet someone, and he says it works for everybody, whether you want this person to be your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and you met them the first time and you like them, the 24/7/30 rule works around this area. So in the first 24 hours of meeting them, send them a WhatsApp message, tell them, oh, it was good to meet you, etc., etc., within 24 hours of meeting them. Yeah, so within 24 hours, make sure you have followed them on social media, maybe, reached out to them, really said, hello, it was good to meet you, it was nice to talk to you, this is my name, and things like those within 24 hours. Then within 7 days, send them an email. Yeah, send them an email, because within 7 days, a lot has happened. So send them an email. If they post something on social media, like it, comment on it, do something to remind them of who you are within 7 days. And then within 30 days, if you can, arrange to meet them or see them or call them, things like those. Yes.
Wow.
So within 30 days, make sure these connections have happened at that level. So
because you realize very many of us are not so patient to wait for the 30 days. If maybe you're sending a WhatsApp and they don't respond in the next 24 hours, then you
move on. Yes.
You move on. You're like, now the attitude.
Yes, they are blue ticking me.
Them,
yeah. So yes, so that's what they encourage us to do within 30 days, but 24/7 and then 30 days. Make sure it happens. They say it works, whether you want to date somebody within 24 hours, send them a message within 7 days, follow them, like their post or whatever. Within 30 days, get time and meet them and see them and have a physical conversation. Remember, you are forming connections that will help this relationship to flourish, so you can enjoy the fruits of this relationship. So you can't rush networking. Networking, they say, is like farming. Yeah, as opposed to hunting. A hunter wakes up today, he goes out, he shoots it, he takes it home, he eats all of it, that's the end. While a farmer, they go, they clear the soil, they plant the seed, they weed, they water. It takes time depending on what you've grown. But eventually you enjoy more than the hunter that goes out and shoots and comes back and there's nothing. Tomorrow he has to go back out there. But farming, once you farm and the things grow well, you can eat on it for a very long time. So networking is like farming. So networking for business growth is a farming action. You're doing what a farmer does. You're clearing, you're sowing seed, you're taking care of the seed, so it's the farming mentality. So most of us are hunters by nature. That's why I enter, I want to make money, I want to make this sale and move on with my life to the next sale.
And when I don't sell, I'll never come back. Those people are mean. They don't buy.
They didn't see my value. But people buy from people they like.
Exactly.
Not everybody. I mean, there are things we buy anyhow. But that's why you probably go to the mama's shop as opposed to the big supermarket, because you like her. Yeah, just the way she talks and receives you. You just like it, as opposed to when you go to the supermarket and no one receives you. Yeah, so people buy from people they like.
And I think before you judge others, you just have to first look into yourself and say, but do I just buy from anyone?
Yeah, myself. Yes.
Myself, do I just buy from anyone?
If someone came to me like this, would I buy it? Yes. So for business growth, it takes time. It takes time. It can take 3 years before this relationship shows anything, but it's okay. It's going to.
So at what point should I now say, I think I am growing a wrong network, if there is anything like a wrong network?
It depends on what you wanted to get out of it, but I don't think there's anything like growing the wrong network in business, because you just never know where your next opportunity is going to come from. You just never know where the next opportunity is going to come from. Sometimes, yes, you might not have time to build that relationship, but that doesn't mean that's the wrong relationship to grow. Unless maybe the person's values don't align with yours. Yes, maybe they don't align with yours. Maybe you've seen something on the values level. If you don't align, maybe that's not the network you should be in, especially on values levels. But if the values are okay, there's nothing like this is a wrong network. All the networks are always beneficial at the end of the day. Okay. Yes, because you network for different things, and from networking you learn so many different things. Those are some of the benefits. If you network, sometimes you just get a partnership, a supplier that you can work with and give you maybe something on credit. You know, so that's a value that a business needs. When you network and connect with this supplier, that's a value. If you can network with another group of people and collaborate on a project which maybe you didn't have the money to work on, but because of that network, you can now go and get a big project because of that network. Then your business increases on its capacity and what it can do. You know, sometimes you need to outsource. But sometimes a network provides that person you can outsource to, because you've grown the relationship, you trust them, so you can outsource some of these things to them. Then there is mentorship. Business is tough, especially, you know, these days more than ever. But I think that many times we just lack mentorship, someone to hold your hand. You wake up today, you start a business, but you don't know many things about the business. So your network is the one that can give you the mentorship. It's hard to hire a business coach. They're very expensive. But if you're networking with people and they've been in business longer than you, then they mentor you as a business owner. You know, you can learn from their businesses. So the value of network is beyond just selling to them or through them, but there's advice you can get, things you can learn from them. You know, how to implement systems, finance, advice on tax, all these lie within your network. Like I said, your answer to whatever business challenge you are rests with a man somewhere, or a woman in this case. So if you haven't networked, then you struggle and you know, go slower than you would have if you had this network and you're leveraging in it. So networking pushes your business. It gives you a stepping stone in business that ideally you would not have experienced. So you would get to where you're getting a lot longer as opposed to business. I mean, if I can give my experience when I started the carpentry workshop, I mean, I had just come out fresh from employment, and now I'm doing carpentry, and no one has known me to do carpentry, and I'm new in this business. But because I joined Business Network International, there was a network there that is willing and ready to refer you, to support you, to help you as you grow the business. So I can't talk about my business story without the value of Business Network International and what they did for me. So because of what they did for me, I'm here today to tell someone, don't walk alone. Build the network, but also be patient. Don't be greedy. Don't be the taker. What can you add there so that they can bring back to you? You know, even the Bible says, give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down. You know, but you have to also first give into that network before you can start to tap from that network. It's a principle. When you give, you get automatically. Yes, but we are impatient. We want to get right away.
Very many of us, for example, if you're in a business, in a WhatsApp group, you're in a wedding WhatsApp group, and then you see people already posting their flyers for their business. And you're like, but this is a wedding WhatsApp group.
Exactly.
And the only time we shall see you responding is when you send us another flyer.
Yes, I know. All your alumni is arranging, you know, a get together. You are sending your flyer. You know, first go and get together with them. Find out where they are. What are they doing? What are their challenges? You know, people die. You don't ever send condolences, etc., and you're sending your flyer. What are you bringing?
Even when someone posts someone who has just died, your response will be a flyer for your business.
So what are you adding to that network before you want to take from that network? So before your business can grow, you need to put in as well. You can't tap from a bank where you didn't deposit anything. So networking for business growth is about relationships. And so many, when you hear people saying, you know, we close business deals at the golf course, etc., they've built that network. I can't go to the golf course today and close the deals that they are closing. I must be a member of the golf club for some time before I start to tap from the relationships at the golf course. So, but they've taken time. They play together, but they talk life, etc. And then eventually the business conversation comes in. So, in as much as you say no, you cannot go for a business meeting, a conference, and then you close. I mean, some people do, very few. But I can't meet someone today and they give me the business that changes my life that day. They might try my product, yes. Maybe they buy a bar of soap from me. But the investment to change my soap making business to the next level, we must first farm that relationship before it takes me to the next level.
Well, there is a prayer that some of us often praise. God, I pray for connections. I pray for networks. I pray. Can networks come miraculously, or it is something that you're supposed to work for, and then God just gives you a way?
I mean, God has already set the systems in place for us to have these connections. So we are really praying for something He has already provided for. But
Please
yes, they are
that.
supernatural connections where you divinely, you know, connect with someone. They are those ones. But God has already answered these prayers. He has placed you in a church group, but you go to church, you enter church, you walk out.
You don't even greet
You don't say hello to anyone. And then you've just prayed for connections. But they're all there, seated around you in church. You know, they say, serve, come and be an usher. You don't want to be an usher. Why will anyone connect with you? Why will you connect with anybody? You know, you don't want to serve, but the connection is right there. They say go for home fellowship. You don't show up at the home fellowship, but you pray for connections. Where are they going to come from? You know, and God is like, my friend, go for fellowship, you know. The connections are in your fellowship group. So we are praying for things that are already there. He's already put the connections there. You know, that's why He says meet regularly, you know. Yeah. There's an instruction to actually meet as brethren, you know, but we're not doing it. But that's where the connection is that He's talking about. Because just because you meet me in church, I might be the MD of the bank.
Exactly.
But if you never say hello, how will you ever know? So basically, you know, the connections, God has already put the systems in place for us to meet. You at school. That's the network that we're talking about. You're at work. That's the network that we're talking about. But you come, you do your work, you go away. That's a network.
You never share.
You never share with anybody. You never help anybody.
Wow.
So I think God has already provided the space for us to network.
Okay.
Yes.
We are taking a short commercial break, and in return, we shall continue with a lot more, especially when it comes to networking for business growth. Don't go anywhere. Young and flourishing, transforming Africa. Thank you so much, you who is still watching Church of Uganda Family TV. This is Flourishing Hub. Edrine Mukalazi is my name, and today we are looking at networking for business growth. We are speaking business growth because no one would really want to see their business at the same level each time they open up, because everyone wants to see their business flourishing and flourishing and flourishing. That is why we are discussing networking, because this is one of the ways you can grow that business. With us is Sharon Tusiime, who is one of the founders of Palit, Woodwork and Design. But of course, she does a lot more besides the works of Palit. Sharon, we are back, and before the break, you were actually telling us about the importance of networking, the benefits of networking. And now, earlier you talked about trust, that in the networks you are growing, people should build this trust in you before they can familiar with your product. How do I build this trust into the people, into strangers? Okay, I want to network with you, but then how can I make you trust me and trust my service or trust my product?
Yes, there's that famous saying, you know, trust takes time. So just like in networking, that trust that you're trying to build is going to take time. But
how long is this time?
How do people build trust in other people? The trust that we are talking about is to trust you enough to refer you. So what happens is, first, some people will try your product. Some people will try what you do. So if you sell this after some time and I'm like, okay, let me buy it, I'll try your product. If it's good, then I will refer you. Yes, but like I said, that is just at basic level. But remember, you're in this network for growth. You want to take your business to the next level. So what is going to happen? They are going to try your service and see how you are or your product and what the result is. Over a period of time, as you continue to interface with them and interact with them, then they gain that confidence eventually. They start to like you and be able to refer you. But where does this like come from? Because you're doing things for them as well. You're doing things for them as well. That's when they grow to like you. The trust comes from trying you out. They will test you. So make sure that you actually follow up the referral. One, they will tell you, my cousin needs something. So have you called their cousin? Did you follow up with what they gave you? It might seem like it's very small. So when you ignore it, how am I going to trust you with the big ones? What else? Keeping time. So I've called you for a meeting, but you've come late. How am I going to be sure that you will deliver something on time? That's another thing. So all those little actions that you're doing, you know, I've asked you for something. Can you show up when I need it? Can you show up when I need you or when I need you to do something? Do you follow up? Do you give updates? Are you a communicator? So I've referred you to my cousin, you've not told me anything. How did it go? Did you call them? You know, what were the challenges? That alone means I can't trust you with other things. What else? How else can I trust you? I thank you. You referred me for business. I got it. I haven't called to say thank you, Edrine. I just moved on with my life.
Very many of us don't.
You just continued, you know, even Jesus experienced it.
The moment I get this.
Yes. Yeah, even Jesus, he asked, only one of you came back, you know, the lepers who he cured. You know, only one came back to say, man, thank you. You know, it worked. So that's how you build trust. Saying thank you, acknowledging somebody. That, oh, so-and-so connected me to so-and-so. That's all those are small little ways that you build trust among people. But in most cases, they will try you with something. But how you perform is going to determine the next thing. So you might think that it's a very small service. There's someone in our network, and he likes referrals. He's a fixer. He fixes things. And so he likes those basic referrals. Come and fix my toilet. But he knows that once he fixes your toilet and he does a brilliant job, the next time you need a roof fixed, you're going to call him. But he doesn't look at these small ones badly. He takes them and he gives them his all. It's a small job, it pays little, but he really goes out of his way. And so they can trust him with the bigger ones. So they will be small tests. So it depends on how you present yourself and your attitude. When something goes wrong, what do you do? Because sometimes things go wrong in business. How are you going to handle that problem? Are you going to refund my client? Are you going to help him? Are you going to communicate, or are you going to disappear? Those are some of them. You know, all those are ways to build trust even as a business owner. Do you acknowledge your mistakes?
You've talked about that, and I remembered something. Last week, we had people who came in, one from Zambia and another from Nigeria. So they wanted to tour Uganda. They went to some tour company somewhere. Now this the owner of the tour company gave them a package of the places she would take them to. Now when they come back, they say she didn't take them to two of the places, and then they agreed, okay, give us a night drive through Kampala. She said yes. At 7 p.m. she tells them, I'm unable to do that. And then they also say that she bought food for them, but because they said we shall eat later, he ended up eating the food with with the person she was with. So these people were complaining in her office the following day. And she said, You cannot threaten me. I've seen the worst. I've been to Luzira 6 times, 6 times. So there's nothing you can do. And the way she was speaking, so I was like, does this person really know business?
Yes.
Because they've done it with these Nigerians, but in the presence of some of us.
Exactly.
And how do you expect us to recommend
to refer anybody here? Yeah. So those are some of the things that we do as business
when you talked
owners.
about attitude, I remembered that.
So those are the mistakes that we make every now and then, and they kill that trust in that people have for us that they would have been building. So we wonder why people never called us back, or we don't have a repeat customer, but it was really their experience with us.
At the end of the day, we accuse sorcerers. They bewitched my business. And I saw that person. That person must have dropped a chair.
Yes, yet we're the ones who did it. So the network is ready to help you. But when you betray their trust, it's hard to mend it. And when you're in a network, like I said, you're not selling to one person. You're expecting that person to connect you to his networks, his or her networks. So don't go in a network that because this one person is the one I want. For business growth, you're thinking about everybody that they know. So if I trust you, Edrine, and I'm going to refer you to someone, I'm going to say that I used his service. You can count on him. So when someone uses your service from my recommendation, when something goes wrong, who do they come to? Me. That guy you referred me to is fake, So their credibility is what they're putting on the line.
Exactly.
Yes, their relationship. Sometimes people's relationships fail because the relationship of the supplier that you refer to them. So people are a bit cautious about referring people because things go wrong, and it puts a strain on this relationship. Because when I refer you, I sell a bit of my credibility, a lot of it as well. Because they're like, hey, Sharon, you dealt with that guy. How did you deal with that guy? So they even start doubting me. That guy really ripped us off. He's your friend. How is he your friend? Then they start to judge me and think, birds of the same feather. Yeah. So people are a bit cautious. So when I try your service, you need to build that confidence, that trust based on how you deal with me, how you carry yourself, how you behave generally. But there are small things. Some people just won't give you business because you came late. So you broke the trust just by that because that's their principle. Some people, you didn't honor them, you didn't shake their hand, you didn't sit. So it's all those small little things. Yes? Yeah. So those are some of the things that you can do to build trust. Yes.
Wow. So as we draw closer to this discussion, what message do you leave out to people who are doing business out there, and they're really looking out for ways to blossom, to see their businesses flourish, and in vernacular we say they want to see their business ngazisambya akaji. What message do you have for them?
Okay, well, we're on the topic of networking, but like I've been saying throughout the show, your answer is with a man or a woman. Man in the sense of a human being carries the answer to the challenges that you're facing in business, to that door that you need open. It rests with another man. Yes, and so leverage on your networks. Don't be an island. Some of the greatest businesses are being done with partnerships. But those partnerships, you will find out, came because of a network, a connection. There are few that he was my brother. We grew up together. There are few of those stories. It was my hobby. He was a guy I met through a guy. And when I told him my business idea. So your answer is with someone. So be intentional about networking. Be intentional about networking. Know what you want and then be intentional about networking. If you can't join a group that networks, BNI is ready to welcome business owners. We are looking for more and more business owners. If you go online, you can find BNI, Business Network International. Join a chapter today. Join a
online,
BNI chapter.
on their website. Okay.
Yes, www.bni.com. And then you see the Ugandan chapters. Or they can ask you and you can post maybe your details, the contact person, and they can join a chapter or attend a meeting and be part of a network that's intentional about referring one another for business. Yeah, that's another way. Join a network. Join your professional network. If you're, like I said, an architect, a website designer, a trader, There are those professional networks. Join those and then use the tips we've talked about to grow your business. Yes, and then don't be afraid to ask for help, especially. You know, many times we don't want to ask for help because we don't want to seem like we have challenges. But there's nobody in the world that doesn't have a problem. And whatever you're going through, someone else has gone through. So don't be afraid to ask. How can I, do this and do this? But also be a giver. Help another person. Don't be engrossed in your challenges and fail to help. Sometimes the people who come to us, they also want to start the same business as us. We don't want to share. They're going to steal my idea. They want to be better than us. But if you don't want to help someone, how do you expect to be helped? So be open with mentoring, with teaching other people, holding another business person's hand. But also leverage on the power in the networks. Don't die in your small thing. If you can collaborate with someone, collaborate and do bigger things. Many times you want to die in your own small thing. You see a tender, you can't manage it, but you can't bother to ask people that, can we collaborate and do this thing? But in business, the way business is these days, you need to collaborate with other people to do bigger things. Otherwise, if you wait to reach there, it might take a lot longer. It doesn't mean you're going to get into a partnership, but you can collaborate to work on a project together. Ask your networks. Ask people, how do we, eat this big elephant together? There's a big elephant here. What can we do? Work with them and see how you can do even a lot more. But be open to learning. As a business person, they tell us, it's the information that's available to you. So go and look for the information. It's out there online, in groups, in church, where people are always talking about business and how to grow. It's your connections. We've just been talking about networks, but it's also your experiences. Go out and see what's out there. When they say there's a trade fair, go and see what other people are doing. When they say there's an expo, go and see what's happening there. When they say there's a business breakfast, go and visit this business breakfast. See what's there. What are you learning? When they say Stanbic Bank is holding this for entrepreneurs, go there and see, what are other people doing? What can I learn from there as a business owner? Because your business can only grow as big as you are. So if you're small in your head, then you also keep your business small. When you grow, then your business has an opportunity to grow. So we are all there trying to grow. Even me, I'm still growing. I have mentors, I have coaches. I'm always learning, I'm always asking, I'm always begging, because if I stay small, my business will also stay small. Yes.
Wow. So we've come out to the end of this discussion, but at least send out greetings to the people who have been watching you.
Yes, of course, I have to start by sending greetings to Business Network International, the chapter I'm a part of, Sunrise chapter, as well as the Integrity chapter, which I also support, but the whole BNI Uganda. I send greetings to all of you. You guys have led my business to where it is today, and I'm very grateful. And of course, my church family, Worship Harvest, I send greetings to the whole church family, Worship Harvest, Nakawa, where I pray from. And then my family, my children, my mom, my siblings, and yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I send out my greetings to all of you who have been watching Church of Uganda Family TV. Thank you so much. We can't thank you enough, but all we can say is God bless you. Edrine Mukalazi is my name. We meet again next time. Good night.